What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the garage. In front of me we have the 2012 Aprilia RSV4, the 2015 Victory Highball, and the 2009 Yamaha R6. In this video I wanted to talk about the Victory a little bit and if you should buy one in 2024 or the following couple years here while they still make parts, because everyone seems to be concerned about that. So the last year Victory made a motorcycle was 2017 with the Octane, and then they switched to Indian motorcycles. Victory claims they'll make parts up to 10 years to service the older Victories, but a lot of people are worried about not finding parts and these bikes really not being able to maintain them and keep them on the road. I really think people are blowing that out of proportion a little bit. Let me simplify this a little bit. So I've been riding for well over a decade, and I've definitely had more than 10 bikes over that time span. And between all my bikes, Hondas, Yamahas, Suzukis, this Aprilia, even though there are dealers still around, I don't think I've ever bought anything from the dealer. Like, I've bought just simple stuff, brake pads, chain and sprockets, basic stuff like that. There are so many aftermarket companies that make these parts. I never go to the dealer, ever. The only thing I've bought from the dealer are engine oil filters. And the nice thing about Victory motorcycles is they make these service kits. There are a ton of companies out there selling these oil change kits. They come with your oil and filter and all your gaskets and everything. You don't really need the gaskets, but it's a nice touch. You can hop on Amazon, find these things anywhere. They're all over the place. So even when the dealers aren't servicing these bikes anymore, I really don't think you're gonna have trouble finding these oil change kits still, or some kind of version of these kits anyways. So that pretty much sums up what you'll have to do on a yearly basis, just the oil changes. Most of my bikes, that's literally all I do. Change the oil once a year and ride them. Every couple years you'll have to do tires. That's fairly generic. You can source tires anywhere for any motorcycle. Brakes are pretty simple part. Even if the dealer's not making those, I guarantee there's gonna be aftermarket companies making brake pads, simple things like that. You don't have a chain and sprockets that are gonna wear out constantly. These belts are supposed to last an extremely long time. So most people won't ever touch that in the lifespan of the motorcycle. Accessories and lights, like I put the nice LED light on the front of my bike there. Parts are so easy to find, and a lot of them are super generic. Like that headlight will fit pretty much any cruiser style bike. So you really shouldn't need any parts for these bikes unless they're really high kilometers. But let's be real, a lot of guys aren't going out there and buying super high kilometer bikes. That leads me to my next point. This Victory is a 2015. It's the newest bike I've ever owned, and it's one of the cheapest. So because these bikes are discontinued, they are super cheap, very affordable to get into, which just makes it that much better. I see these bikes up all the time with low kilometers, and they're only 5 to 10 grand. So it's a crazy good deal, really good bargain for what you're gonna get. I would argue that the Victory is one of the best bang for buck bikes I've ever purchased. And Victories are known for their reliability. They go extremely long distances with zero issues. You see them up for sale all the time with 50, 60,000 kilometers, even upwards of 100,000 kilometers. And usually they're all original parts, for the most part, with high kilometers still. So unless you're extremely unlucky or don't maintain your bikes, you really shouldn't have any catastrophic engine failures, anything like that. These bikes were pretty over-engineered. And say you are extremely unlucky, maybe your engine blows up or you lay the bike down and it gets damaged. Honestly, it wouldn't really make sense to dump a bunch of money into your bike to fix it. They're so cheap, just buy another one. If you can find them for 5 to 10 grand, even if the dealer was offering engines, you could put a new engine in, you would spend more in parts than just buying a completely new bike again. So really, I don't see the dealer support being a major drawback to these bikes. Just my opinion, but With the market how it is now and how they're priced, it's a great bike. It really is. Maintain it, do your oil changes once a year, and just ride the damn thing. Like, you're not gonna have any major issues unless you're very unlucky. The nice thing about Victory is no matter what style of Victory you get, the highball like me, Vegas 8-ball, the cross countries, all of their bikes use the same engines, same transmissions, basically the same heart. So if you did have issues or whatever, you can still find used parts relatively easy, I think, even many years down the road. Another thing I like about Victory only having a couple engine designs, the 100 and the 106, it's very easy to find aftermarket performance parts. Like, this bike is a full stage 1. It's got intake, exhaust, power commander. I've got the Lloyd's adjustable timing gear on it. I've also got the Lloyd's quarter turn throttle. So tons of mods, and there's a lot of different shops that offer Victory parts still. So the aftermarket world is definitely gonna look after you many years down the road, probably forever. When I bought this bike, I had to modify it. It's an issue I have with all my bikes. I really can't keep anything stock. So if I couldn't find aftermarket parts for it, I wouldn't have even considered buying this bike. But absolutely no issues there. Tons of aftermarket companies still selling parts. These parts have been developed. They're not just gonna pull them off their shelves and stop selling them. They've already spent the money on R&D developing all these parts. They're not just gonna pull them off their shelves prematurely. They'll be around pretty much forever, trying to make as much profit as they can off them, because it's costing them nothing from here on out. I actually have a harder time finding parts for my 2012 Aprilia than I do the Victory. No joke. Even something as simple as an oil change on the Aprilia, I had to wait 3-4 days to special order in that oil filter. Whereas the Victory, I hopped on Amazon, I had the oil change kit the next day. So it's kind of funny. The Victory is actually easier in every aspect than my Aprilia. Even though there are still dealers for Aprilia, it's a company that's not North American made, and you really have to love that bike to put up with the headache. Victory, if you're a North American resident, you're gonna have zero issues. So moral of the story, an Italian bike in North America, a little inconvenient. The Victory in North America, zero issues. Would I buy a Victory if you live in the UK or Italy, somewhere across seas? No, I probably wouldn't. If you live in North America, you're gonna have zero issues. I find it very surprising how many of these bikes I still see on the road today. I picked up this bike and I've been nothing but thrilled with it. And once you have a bike, you really notice other bikes that are similar to yours. My neighbor has a cross country. I've seen quite a few Victories around town, actually. Lots of them up for sale. Tons of selection still. So these bikes are everywhere. I don't think it's gonna be hard to find parts down the road. You really shouldn't have to worry about it for quite some time, in my opinion. So to sum this video up, should you buy a Victory in 2024? Absolutely. There's so many of these bikes out there still. You have tons of selection to get into one at a decent price. They're arguably one of the most reliable bikes out there in the cruiser world. Extremely, extremely reliable. Can't stress that enough. They make some of the most power out of any cruiser for the generation they were built. Way more power than Harleys. Right on par with some of the big displacement Yamaha cruisers. And on top of that, they look great. They're a pretty well-rounded package. For most people in the real world, you're gonna do an oil change once a year and then just ride it. Enjoy the bike for what it's made to do. Hit the open road. If you do road trips all the time, maybe tires every second season, you can bring your bike to any shop for that. Very simple stuff. So if you take anything away from this video, my advice will just be, don't overthink it. These are pretty simple bikes, very easy to work on. I really wouldn't be too worried about what everybody says on the internet. If you like the bikes, get one. I certainly have no regrets. Love this thing. So if you were on the fence thinking about whether you should purchase one or not, hopefully this made the decision a little bit easier for you. You should definitely try one. But with that being said, it's a nice day outside, so I'm gonna take this hog out for a spin and enjoy it. And just know, no matter what bike you choose to purchase, any day on two wheels is a great day. So with that being said, guys, cheers. We'll catch you in the next one.